located in North America. Bordered by Canada to the north, Mexico to the south, and oceans to the east and west. Fourth largest country in the world in area, after Russia, Canada, and China. Third most populous in the world, with over 340 million people, it comes after India and China. This is United States.
What's the one thing America has more of than any other country? Nope, it's not fast food.
It's actually airports. Over 13,000 of them.
That's insane.
Think you know everything about the US? Think again. By the end, you'll have a wealth of fascinating knowledge.
It is a federal union of 50 states with a capital, Washington, D.C. California, Texas, and Florida are the three most populous states. New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago are the three most populous cities. United States is one of the most diverse countries globally, comprising a mix of ethnicities, languages, and religions. 80% of its population resides in urban areas, with major hubs like New York City and Los Angeles. 20% resides in rural areas. The median age is 38, reflecting a gradually aging population, influenced by increased life expectancy and lower birth rates. This demographic shift poses some challenges. While nearly 14% of residents are foreign-born, contributing to its rich cultural fabric.
Did you know the largest ethnic group is white, making up 59% of the population? There are also significant communities of Hispanic, Black, Asian, and Native Americans.
And speaking of diversity, let's talk religion. Christianity is the most prominent faith, with 70% of Americans identifying with it, but here's an interesting twist: 23% don't affiliate with any religion, and 5% follow other faiths.
That's right. And when it comes to education, it scores high. Over 90% of Americans have completed high school. Impressive, right?
Very. But here's a challenge the country faces: regional and economic disparities. Income inequality is a persistent issue, creating stark differences across states. Isn't the Grand Canyon in Arizona a natural masterpiece?
Absolutely. The Grand Canyon is jaw-dropping. Its immense size and those incredible geological layers carved over millions of years make it a must-see. It's like looking at a time machine etched into the earth.
Thanksgiving is a uniquely American holiday celebrated with a feast, symbolizing gratitude and unity. It originated in the 17th century with early Pilgrims and Native Americans. Education is highly valued, with the U.S. hosting many of the world's top universities, attracting students from around the globe. Innovation and entrepreneurship are celebrated, with Silicon Valley being a global tech innovation center.
Now, let's talk about what makes America truly iconic: its symbols of freedom and democracy.
Absolutely. Cultural symbols like the Statue of Liberty, Mount Rushmore, and the American flag are more than just landmarks. They represent the nation's ideals. The Statue of Liberty, for example, gifted by France, is a global emblem of hope and welcome for immigrants, while Mount Rushmore, a monumental sculpture carved into a mountain, celebrates some of the most influential leaders in U.S. history. And of course, the American flag symbolizes unity, freedom, and the enduring spirit of the nation.
And you can't mention America without talking about the food. Burgers, hot dogs, and apple pie are iconic, but there's so much more. From Southern fried chicken to Tex-Mex dishes, every region brings its own flavor to the table.
Food might bring people together, but what about the values that define the U.S.? Individualism and equality are at the heart of American culture. Social mobility is a big deal too. Education and career opportunities are viewed as key steps to success, encouraging people to chase their dreams and express their unique identities.
And those dreams are fueled by core values like freedom, democracy, and self-reliance. Freedom means rights like free speech and religion, democracy ensures that governance is rooted in voting and representation, and self-reliance pushes people to work hard and achieve their goals, classic hallmarks of the American dream.
It's fascinating how these values and symbols come together to shape the identity of a nation. The U.S. has the largest economy in the world, with a GDP exceeding $25 trillion as of 2023. Major sectors include technology, finance, healthcare, manufacturing, and agriculture, with tech giants like Apple, Google, and Amazon leading globally. It is a major exporter of goods like advanced machinery, vehicles, and agricultural goods to markets worldwide. At the same time, it imports essential electronics, clothing, and consumer goods, maintaining dynamic trade relationships with major partners such as China, Mexico, and Canada.
Ever wonder how the US managed to build the largest economy in the world?
The U.S. economy thrives on its highly diversified industries, from tech giants to its massive consumer market. Plus, its skilled workforce and advanced infrastructure keep the wheels turning. And let's not forget the driving force. Americans love to spend, and that spending fuels economic activity like nothing else.
And there's more behind the scenes. Leadership in research and innovation is a huge boost. From creating groundbreaking technologies to fostering international trade, the U.S. is always one step ahead.
When it comes to resources, the U.S. is like nature's jackpot. Imagine vast fields bursting with corn and wheat, rich deposits of gold and iron deep underground, and abundant energy reserves of oil, coal, and natural gas. It's a place where geography and resources blend into a great combination.
Absolutely. But with great wealth comes great challenges, like income inequality. While some thrive, others face wage stagnation and limited access to education or healthcare. It's a tough reality, and it leaves millions working harder for less.
And let's not forget the communities hit hardest by job losses. As industries outsource or automate, families in manufacturing towns, especially in rural areas, are left struggling to rebuild. These aren't just statistics, they're real people, with dreams that feel out of reach. It's heartbreaking.
It's also a country facing environmental hurdles. It remains a major emitter of greenhouse gases, but the road to renewable energy has been slow. Political divisions, regulatory challenges, and the grip of fossil fuel industries have slowed progress.
But there's hope. The push for cleaner energy is growing, with innovation and grassroots movements leading the way. It's a long journey, but every step counts.
From economic innovation and natural wealth to addressing inequality and environmental concerns, there's so much to learn from the US, both its triumphs and its trials. And as always, it's the people, their creativity, and their determination that shape the future.
How about Yellowstone National Park? Did you know it's America's first national park? And those geothermal features like Old Faithful? Stunning!
Oh, Yellowstone is magical. Old Faithful's eruptions are a spectacle, and the vibrant hot springs are like works of art. Plus, Yellowstone is home to a massive supervolcano, one of the largest in the world. It's this supervolcano that's responsible for those famous geothermal features. Add in the wildlife and sprawling landscapes, and it's a paradise for nature lovers.
Sports are a significant part of American culture, with football, NFL, basketball, NBA, and baseball, MLB, being especially popular. The Super Bowl, the NFL's championship game, is the single most watched sporting event annually, drawing tens of millions of viewers. NBA is a global leader in basketball.
Let's talk about the Olympics. The US has a rich history of dominating the games. What makes them so successful?
Well, it consistently ranks at the top in medal counts, surpassing Russia and China, thanks to its incredible athletes and strong sports development programs.
And it's not just the athletes, it's the resources and training they get. With world-class facilities and cutting-edge sports science, it has a competitive edge.
Exactly. It truly embodies the spirit of the games.
The United States is home to a rich linguistic diversity, with over 350 languages spoken across the country. English is the predominant language, but there is no official language. Spanish is the second most spoken language, reflecting the significant Hispanic population, particularly in states like California, Texas, and Florida.
Other widely spoken languages include Chinese, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic, driven by immigrant communities. The U.S. also has indigenous languages, though many are endangered.
Let's talk about the Golden Gate Bridge in California. That bright orange suspension bridge is such a cultural icon.
It really is. Stretching across the San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate Bridge is not just an engineering marvel, but also one of the most photographed landmarks in the world. It's breathtaking, especially during the morning fog.
The US is often seen as a global powerhouse, and for good reason. Let's dive into what makes it strong and where it faces challenges, starting with its strengths.
Absolutely. Beyond scientific leadership, natural resources, and economic power, which we've already discussed, its influence in global diplomacy is remarkable. It plays a pivotal role in international organizations like the UN and NATO, shaping global policies and fostering international cooperation.
And let's not forget the military. With the most advanced and well-funded military in the world, the US ensures its position as a major global force. It spends more on military more than the next 10 countries combined.
But strength isn't everything. Every country has its struggles, right?
Right, and it has its share. Take political polarization, for instance. The increasing division in politics often hinders effective governance. And healthcare? It's a sore point. Costs are sky high, and access isn't as equitable compared to nations with universal systems like the UK or Canada.
Education disparities are another issue. There's a stark gap in quality between urban and rural schools, limiting opportunities for many. And we can't ignore social challenges like racial inequalities. They're persistent and require systemic change.
Agreed. Plus, aging infrastructure is a pressing problem. Roads, bridges, and public transit in many areas need upgrades, and in terms of quality, it lags behind countries like Japan and Germany.
Strength and challenges, they truly define a nation's character.
Niagara Falls, the waterfalls on the border between the US and Canada, are absolutely mesmerizing.
Totally agree. The roar of the falls, the mist in the air, it's pure magic. It's not just a sight to behold but also a reminder of nature's raw power.
Alright, folks, buckle up because we're about to take you on a whirlwind tour of some of the coolest and most surprising fun facts about the US. From pizza to space, and everything in between, this country never ceases to amaze.
Absolutely. You might think you know a lot about the US, but upcoming facts will totally blow your mind. Let's dive right in. Did you know Americans eat about 3 billion pizzas every year? That's more pizza than you can ever imagine. And guess what's the most popular topping? Pepperoni, of course. An American consumes around 36 pizzas a year on average.
Every year, they consume enough pizza to stretch all the way to the moon and back. Okay, maybe not that far, but still, that's a lot of pizza. Now, speaking of food, did you know the US is one of the largest food producers in the world? We're talking mountains of corn, wheat, and soybeans. It's like a food factory, feeding the world.
The US has 6 different time zones across the country. You can easily be eating lunch in one zone while someone across the country is having breakfast. It's like time travel every day.
Time zones are pretty wild, huh? In one part of the country, it could be bright and sunny, and in another, it's nighttime. That's what I call a coast-to-coast experience. But when it comes to big achievements, let's talk space. The US was the first to land humans on the moon in 1969 with Apollo 11. A giant leap for mankind.
And hold on, it doesn't stop there. The US has sent more astronauts into space than any other country, and they're working on sending people to Mars. Space exploration? Yeah, they're nailing it. And if you're a road trip fan, you'll love this. It has the longest road network in the world, stretching over 4 million miles. That's enough to drive around the Earth 160 times.
That's basically the ultimate road trip. You could drive for days, months, or even years and still never run out of new places to explore. Endless adventures.
Speaking of greatness, the US has the most Nobel Prize winners in science. Whether it's physics, chemistry, or medicine, American minds are making global breakthroughs.
It's no surprise. The country is the global hub for innovation, with inventors and scientists constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. From discovering new medicines to unlocking the mysteries of the universe, they're always on the cutting edge.
And here's a fun one for science lovers. The US has one of the most advanced earthquake detection systems, especially along the Pacific coast. They're always one step ahead when it comes to monitoring seismic activity.
Imagine having an earthquake detected before it even hits. Talk about living in the future. It is truly a leader in anticipating natural events and keeping people safe.
And last but definitely not least, remember the Human Genome Project? The United States led the way in mapping the human genome, revolutionizing genetics by paving the way for personalized medicine and life-saving medical advances.
That's right. Understanding our DNA is like unlocking the code of life itself. And thanks to the country, we're now one step closer to curing diseases and creating treatments tailored just for you.
So, the US has certainly made its mark on the world.
Alright, folks, let's dive into some seriously cool facts about the geography of the US. First off, did you know the longest river in the country isn't the Mississippi but the Missouri River? It stretches a whopping 2,341 miles.
That's right. And right behind it comes the mighty Mississippi River, which is practically iconic. But speaking of natural wonders, let's not forget about California's Redwood National and State Parks. Those trees there? Some are over 350 feet tall, making them the tallest trees on Earth.
I mean, can you even imagine standing next to one of those giants? Now, let's switch it up a bit. The country isn't just about forests and rivers. It has some serious desert diversity too. With 4 major deserts, Great Basin, Mojave, Sonoran, and Chihuahuan, it's like an entire world of ecosystems all in one country.
Fascinating desert.
And speaking of vast regions, have you heard about the Great Plains? Known as America's breadbasket, it's one of the most fertile agricultural zones in the world, feeding a huge chunk of the global population.
Yup, then there's Death Valley. Sounds spooky, but it's the hottest and driest place in North America. With summer temperatures exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit 49 degrees Celsius, it's not a place to hang out unless you love the heat.
It's like stepping onto another planet. But it's not just heat. Death Valley is also home to some stunning landscapes, from salt flats to colorful canyons. It's a scorching beauty. Definitely not for the faint-hearted. Now, if you want to talk extreme heights, we can't forget Mount Denali in Alaska. Standing at 20,310 feet, it's the highest peak in North America, taller than any mountain in the lower 48 states.
It's no wonder Alaska is such a stunning, wild place. But if you want an entire state made up of islands, you've got to head to Hawaii, the only U.S. state located in the Pacific Ocean.
And let's not forget how the United States is the world's largest producer of corn, cranking out about 15 billion bushels annually. Talk about a food powerhouse.
Exactly. In fact, it produces more corn than any other country. Talk about amazing. And it's not just for eating. A lot of it gets turned into fuel, so you're literally driving on American corn. And it doesn't stop there. It is also home to the largest number of national parks in the world, with over 63 stunning spots preserving nature's beauty and diverse ecosystems.
And on top of all that, it is the biggest producer of oil and natural gas, influencing global energy markets in major ways, a giant in the energy game.
That's right. From powering homes to fueling cars, American energy resources keep the world moving. And with such vast reserves, the U.S. has a strong hand in shaping the energy future. It's incredible how much it has to offer, from its natural resources to its innovative industries. And with so many amazing universities and colleges, it's no surprise the country leads the world in higher education institutions.
One last thing to wrap things up, the Sun Belt. This region stretching from the southern U.S. across the southwest is growing fast thanks to its warm climate, lower cost of living, and booming industries in tech, healthcare, and energy. Looks like the sun isn't the only thing shining there.
Absolutely. United States is like a land of endless discovery, with something exciting and new around every corner.
The information in this video is like a treasure chest filled with priceless gems. We're here to share the sparkling jewels of BW Oceans with you. Join our little family of explorers by subscribing. If you're as amazed by discovering facts about America, hit that like button and share this video to spread the fun. What fact surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below,